Hello everyone, I hope you guys enjoyed my last video. Thank you guys for their feedback. I really do appreciate you guys. And so now, as I promised, oh, wait a minute. So I'm gonna go ahead and answer your question number 11. So question number 11, yes, I do. I have a boyfriend and he's amazing. So now let's get into tonight, which is talking about recruiting and basically the journey to making six figures. So I know you're probably thinking that, you didn't go to school for it, you don't have any training or anything in that, throw it out the window. So what we're gonna do on this video is I'm gonna tell you my journey, and then I'm gonna tell you how to actually get there as well. Okay, so let's start out with me. So a few years ago, I actually came in to an office in Cleburne, Texas, and I applied for a receptionist position. And as soon as I walked in, the manager, she was amazing. She greeted me with like a big smile on her face, and I'm a big people person, so we clicked very fast. Like, it was crazy. And we were laughing. The interview almost didn't even feel like an interview. It felt like I was meeting up with one of my friends and we were just talking in a business setting. So, of course, I got the job. And when I was working there, she was actually like doing the staffing. And so I was curious because I'm very eager to learn and I'm always looking for ways to elevate. And that's what gets you to go where you want, where you need to go, and where you want to go. So I asked her, I'm like, hey, because I know she was going to be looking for a recruiter soon because she told me she was. And at the time, I didn't have the skills to be a recruiter. So I asked her, I was like, hey, can you show me, like, what is it? It can't be that hard. And she's like, this is not hard. Like, you're a smart girl, you're gonna get it. So I was like, yeah, sure, of course. Just show me, and I can do it. I know I can do it. And at this time, I don't know anything about recruiting at all. I didn't even realize that that was an actual title, because back in, like, I keep saying back in the day, but back in the day, it wasn't very popular like how it is now, where it's like you just see recruiter all over. It wasn't popular at all. So with that said, I didn't know what that job entailed, and she actually took the time to train me, and I got it. It's very easy. I remember the hardest part was learning the system, and we're gonna speak like more in depth of systems and different ATSs later on in the conversation. So going forward, she taught me. She's like, okay, and this is what you do when you make a phone call. She did a phone call. She did like 2 or 3. Then I did a phone call, and like immediately I was just like, oh wow, like I can do this. And I'm like, so what degree do you need for this? All you need to be a recruiter is either a high school diploma or GED. That is it. No college courses. There's no trainings. I mean, now I have seen a few pop up actually that says like, oh, recruiting training, or teach you how to be a recruiter, which I am looking into that because I've been in the agency, in this industry, for quite some time. About 10 years. So that's amazing. I can't believe it. But yeah, so you don't even need any of that. All you need, honestly, is someone who's willing to take entry level recruiters and train you of how to be a recruiter. So she basically showed me how to recruit. I started out recruiting industrial. So listen, I went from a receptionist to a recruiter. From the recruiter, I turned into a senior recruiter. From a senior recruiter, I elevated again, because I'm always willing. I'm on it. And later on in the years, I became on-site manager. From on-site manager, I left, and because everyone knows that my background's in criminal justice. So I was like, you know what? To recruit, I usually get a job order because I've never driven a forklift in my life. But you tell me you need someone who drives a forklift, and I'll get them for you. Because that's what a recruit does. You basically get a job description, and it tells you everything that you need to know. So I'll give you an example. I had a job, and they needed to be able to operate a forklift. So I go on handy dandy YouTube, and I put in forklift operator, and I watch videos and videos. So I'm like, okay, so the person that I have to get, I have to find out from the client, excuse me, sir, is this a sit down forklift or stand up forklift? And that's something that I wouldn't ordinarily know. So I have to do my research so that one, I can clarify what the client needs, and two, I can staff it appropriately so that both parties is happy. Because I'm not going to send the person who doesn't know how to do it the correct way, because then that's wasting that customer's time, and then I'm also wasting the client's time. So basically that's what I did. And I also used Google to, you know, find out different things. Even OSHA, because OSHA actually certifies. They have OSHA courses that you can go and get certified same day. So now with that said, yes, someone could come and tell me that, you know, they're a forklift operator and they're OSHA certified. But now I have to look back at that job description and find out, do they want an entry level forklift operator, or do they want a skilled operator? So if you haven't noticed what's going on, I'm not even using my own brain. The only thing I'm doing is taking what the client gave me of exactly what he's asking for and looking for a person that matches. That's it. So you ever play that matching game growing up, where like your parents or your teacher like puts out all the cards and they turn it over, and then you have to flip it and you get a match, so you just link it and close the case. Boom. That's it. That's basically what we're doing. That's recruiting, all in a nutshell. So moving on. I quickly went in. I saw that they needed a recruiter position. And once I got into law enforcement, I was like, hey, I really love recruiting and I could recruit for this. They're like, okay, well, we're looking for correctional officers, and we are looking for someone who's worked in a jail. And I said, well, I never worked in a jail before. I said, but I'm a recruiter. And basically what a recruiter is, you give me the job description and I can fill it for you. And I told them, I looked them dead in the eyes, which will be in another video, of how to nail an interview. I looked him dead in his eyes and I said, I will see you this week because you're gonna hire me. And I was like, you know, I can staff for law enforcement, which I did, and I did really good at it. And basically for that was the same thing. They gave me a job description of exactly what they were looking for, and I interviewed and hired people that they needed, that met the skills. Now with law enforcement, it was a little bit more tedious because you're dealing with the government, you're dealing with getting people licensed. You are trusting that this person is a good person, because you're putting other people's lives in this person's hands. And not only that, but you're taking this person and saying, this person will be a good fit for the job, and if not, you're just not even hiring them. And also for law enforcement, like they had to do different steps. Like they had to do pass like a psychological test, assessment, and everything. So now from law enforcement, I went back into doing industrial, clerical, and within that field. Shortly after that, COVID happened and I was furloughed. So me being me, I've been working since I was 16 years old. My first job was at Burlington Coat Factory. So I've never not worked. Like even when I went away for college in the Virgin Islands, I worked as a bartender at Mahogany by the Sea. Like I've always worked. So COVID having me home, I was just like, oh my gosh. And so I went on Indeed and I was like, I see a company here and they are hiring. I've never, ever worked in the medical field. But I knew at that time I needed to be a part of the essential workers because I needed money rolling in. And I did not want to depend on unemployment. I did not want to depend on government assistance. So, because I never have. So I quickly went down to this medical office and I told them, I was like, listen, I'm a recruiter. I can recruit for anything. Give me the job description and I can recruit for you. And I looked the lady in the face and I was like, you have nothing to lose. Like, just give me a chance. I said, how about this? I work for you for a few weeks. You like me? Hey, we stay. You don't like me? We go. And I was like, another thing is I believe in quality over quantity. So I know how to scan the applicants correctly. And so she gave me an opportunity and I was so thankful because again, like I did not get unemployment right away. By the time I did get unemployment, I was already working. So they back paid me and then that was it. So I went there and again, I did all my research on RNs, LPNs, home health aides. CNA. I did all of my research to find out exactly what they were doing. What did they mean? How many years did they have? What does their graduation process look like? What does internships for them look like? So if you're not already catching on, once you learn that one skill for recruiting, you can recruit for anything. The only thing that you have to do on your end is basically do the research for whatever that company is. So again, I go in there and then now I need to become an asset to the company. So I need to search out ways to not only save the company time, but save the company money. So what I do is I go on Indeed. I see the way that we are basically recruiting and staffing and sourcing candidates on Indeed. And I quickly see like, okay, something could be fixed because we're spending way too much money here. And so I switch it around for that time because during COVID was the worst time to source for candidates. I'm sorry, I'm telling you guys. Basically what people used to do, and I'm not knocking you, do what you have to do, but as for a recruiter standpoint, it was like, oh my gosh, because people would apply for jobs just to say that they applied so that unemployment can approve their following weeks, but they really didn't want to work. So you would think you have a candidate and then they would just drop. So I was like, you know what, we are no longer paying per clicks because people are just using us and we're spending money and we're not getting quality candidates. So I did that. Then I went from there to traveling nursing, which blew my mind. Oh my Lanta. Like, because I already had did my research on RNs and everything, I was able to transfer those skills onto traveling nursing, a traveling nursing staffing agency. And at this time, let me just tell you, if you're a nurse out here and you're not a traveling nurse, I don't know what you're doing. Because, baby, go look up traveling nursing, sign up. These people were making $100 an hour. But anyway, okay, so we're not talking about them right now. We digress. So, with that said, I then worked for Fortune 500 company. I went to work for, we're not going to say the name. I went to work for that company. Everything was great. It was good. I was hiring for their call center department. But the one thing, like, you have to understand is that you always want to elevate. You do not want to throw out the years of experience that you have and the knowledge that you have, because that's what's getting you your money. So as long as you understand that, you'll be fine. So anywho, with that said, I went from there to now technical, which technical is a game changer, like game changer. And now let's put this into numbers for you. Okay, so year one, it's like $12 an hour. By year three, you're at what? 15 to 16 an hour. By year 4 and 5, you're already surpassing $20 an hour. By year 6 and 7, you're already in the like 60s to 80s. By the year 10, I'm already, as you can see, now I'm working towards the big goal. I'm already on my pathway right now to breaking the big number, which you'll hear at the end. So now let's talk about you, because your transition will be completely different because the game has changed. You don't have to start out with the low pay like I did, because back in the day, the minimum wage was $8 and like 35 cents or 45 cents. I'm not sure, but I know it's like 8 something. But now things are not like that. First of all, recruiters are at a high demand right now. If you can get in with an agency who is willing to train you, again, take notes, because this is for you now. This is what's going to lead you to your 6 figures. So find an agency that is hiring for entry-level recruiters. And what entry-level recruiter is basically someone who doesn't have really experience but is trainable. So that's another thing. Then you want to go in for either like a recruiter training position, which is kind of like the same thing, but they kind of word it differently, which you'll learn in staffing, that we have recruiters, we have talent acquisition. They all mean the same thing. So don't get hooked up on titles, okay? Then once you do that and you learn, let me tell you, a technical recruiter right now with just 2 years experience, how much do you think they're gonna make? They're already, just with 2 years, they're already over $30 an hour. So 2 years. 2 to 3. So from 2 to 5, your max right now is, the max that I've hired for is like $41. So think about that. From 2 to 5 years, $41 an hour. Yeah, let's just take a moment. Let that sink in. Because where you're at right now, are you making $41? If you are, love you. You're doing your thing. And where's your next move though? Because that's what you need to figure out next. Because remember, the goal is to get to the top. So figure out what field you want to work in. And when I say that, I mean, do you want to be in the medical field? Do you want to be in the entertainment field? Because yes, entertainment hires recruiters. When I mean entertainment, I mean Netflix, Hulu, you have Disney. They all hire for entertainment, like the actual TV shows. Like you could be recruiting. You want to be hiring like engineers, whatever you want to do. If you want to hire for warehouse, if you want to hire for medical, just pick your field and find out what mirrors the path that you want to take. For example, I know for me, right? I want to be able to walk out my house and be like right now, when I walk out, I'm just like, good job. And again, surround yourself around positive people. Like, positive people does matter. And surround yourself by people who push you. Because when you're feeling like, that positive person will push you up to do better. And it works. Trust me. I have like where I'm at right now, so where I was before, how fastly I've elevated. Like I tell him all the time, thank you. Because that positive encouragement went a long way. Yes, you have it in you, but when you have someone else speaking it to you, it's a different feel. And it doesn't have to be a guy. In my case it is, but it doesn't have to be for you. It can be positive friends, a positive girlfriend, a positive, homegirl, boyfriend, guy friend, aunt, uncle, whoever is that person that's in your life that speaks positive. And if you do not have that, I dare you to go out and find it, because you will find it. Trust me. And you'll see how fast like your life just changes, like for the better. So back into recruiting. So whatever field you choose. So say right now, if you're like, you know what, I've always wanted to be in the medical field, but you're not a doctor. Well, then how about you just work to hire the doctors? Go on YouTube. Look up what an RN does. Look up what an LPN does. Look up what a CNA does. Look up different things. And again, you have to match your goals. So your job has to mirror your life. So if you know that you want to drive like a fancy car, you want to live in a decked out house, you want to live nice. But everybody's nice is different. So whatever it is for you, that's the path that you take. But don't compromise your path for the job. And we'll go into that, because that's really bad. Trust me, been there, done that. It's not cool. After that, apply to the field that you basically decided. Because remember, now you've already been trained as a recruiter. A recruiter is a recruiter. You tell them straight up, which we will talk about that, like I said, during the interviewing video. I know I have an interviewing video, but it's not so in-depth like this one. So once you apply, you're going to go ahead and call them and basically get yourself an interview. Let them know. So when they ask you, oh, but you never recruited for, no, listen, I know all about RNs. I know all about LPNs. I know all about, the hospital I was at. Look up, if you're doing travel and nursing, they do like 13 weeks, 18 weeks assignments. Just research everything. Research all you can, because all they're looking for is someone who's knowledgeable in what they're wanting. Because honestly, there's no perfect recruiter. The only thing that will make you stand out than another person is how much knowledge you have on that, in that industry that you're trying to apply for, and you can get the position. If you want to be a technical recruiter, well, then you need to learn about engineering terms. You need to learn about creative design, graphic design. You need to learn about exactly what they're doing, what systems they're using, and where it's 2022. YouTube has everything. So pick a field and grow with it. And find out what field pays the most that fits your lifestyle. Because what is okay for you may not be okay for me. And what is okay for me may not be okay for you. So that's the part that you have to figure out. But this is just a step. So again, I just hired someone right now as we're speaking. I was looking for 3 to 5 years of experience. And they can get up to $41 an hour. With the minimum being like $35 an hour. And they've only been in it for 2 years. I was looking for 2 to 5 years. That's it. I've also spoke with another gentleman. He literally got an offer for an entry level recruiting. He did that for 6 months. Now he is making $65 an hour. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. That it is out there. It is possible, and you do not need to go to school for it. You don't need to have a degree. And I'm not knocking anybody with a degree, because I went to college as well. All I'm saying is that you have options. You don't have to settle for just these little jobs out here. If you know you want more in life, you can. And this is such an easy job, because they're giving you the answer and you're just reading it and then finding someone who mirrors it. So it's just the matching game. And then once you actually find out the field, that's when you start looking at what companies you want to work for. Again, you have to research the company, because when you go on these interviews, you have to know what they're about. Because why would they want to hire you if you didn't even take the time out to research their company and research, what they do? Because you're about to be part of them, and that's about to be a part of your life. It's just like, when we go to school, we spend so many hours. We spend like 8 hours in school and a little bit of hours at home. It's the same thing when you get a job. So you need to make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into. And again, I'm going to post a video about nailing an interview, because I've never went to an interview and not got the job. Just saying. So I'll be giving you some good tips on that. If you guys have any other recruiting questions, as far as needing help to pick a place or search for an agency, literally all you have to do is create an Indeed account. Once you have your Indeed account, start looking at entry-level recruiting. You can even Google entry-level recruiting, and places will come up, and just start calling. Just type in staffing agencies and just start calling them and start asking them like, hey, do you have any entry-level recruiting positions? And they're gonna hire you, because remember, you're gonna come in at low brass, but your low brass is gonna open doors to you making 6 figures. So back to what I told you I was gonna tell you. So right now, I'm on the road to wait for it. I'm gonna put it right there. What else? Did I tell you guys everything? Oh, I am gonna look into seeing if I can actually do some of these trainings that people are doing, because I don't mind training you guys and teaching you guys how to be a recruiter. I'm a very good teacher, and so I will look into that, and I will keep you posted on that. All right, bye-bye.